you start to notice that things are different when you're black than when you're not. Some of the things you have to deal with, whether your interactions with police, people following you in the stores. I remember asking people for the time and they clutch their purse. Those kind of things. You start to notice the differences.
Community Safety Act emerges at a time in New York City when there was a plethora of police brutality. There was a lot of discriminatory behaviors and practices, especially in communities of color, but around New York City.
Over-policing has been standard policy for as long as we've had policing. It just manifested at this time with just a ridiculous amount of stop, question, and frisk.
Stop and frisk grew massively from about 100,000 up to more than 700,000 stops. And there aren't 700,000 young men of color in New York City.
And they would clearly target those of us who are a darker hue, a little differently, to just be stopped, frisked.
This legislation was timely, but it was overdue.
Something has to happen. I felt that this was something I really wanted, folks. I was always incensed of how people were policing my community. And when I came in, I felt like I have to make transformational change.
We were not under any illusions that there would be any support from the mayor or the police commissioner or the other side of City Hall.
One reason I'm very proud to have been a part of passing the Community Safety Act and working on this was it was an uphill, heavy lift.
The stop and frisk, for instance, doesn't work and nobody listens.
Having a billionaire mayor and a fairly popular police commissioner feeding into deceptive realities.
We do not engage in racial profiling.
We go to where the reports of crime are.
I just believe this had to happen. So this is, in my head, this was going to happen. We were going to make this happen.
We were insistent and we were pushing and we were fighting and we were not letting up. If you had asked me at any point, what do you think is the most likely outcome? I would have said, I think the most likely outcome is that we're not going to be able to get this done.
And then I got arrested with Kirsten Foy, and I decided that was an opportunity to say, if this is happening to people like myself, what's happening to people that have none of this title or stature?
The police have a job to do, and the city councilman has a job to do. And I happen to have gotten to know Councilman Williams, and he's a quality guy who really is trying to do something for this city. Yes.
I don't think people understand the pressure and all of the effort that has gone in.
Tired of the people in this building saying to the millions of us that you all don't deserve equal protection under the law.
This was a testament to leadership, being courageous, to a unification of forces from the people level, from the advocate level.
And the advocates were extremely happy. This would not have gotten done without the advocates.
And guns off the street. Please stop lying to the people of New York City.
And we got to the point where everyone understood that this was wrong, except now for the mayor and the police commissioner. I was worried on the day of the vote because we needed 34 votes. We only had 34 votes, called them to court 34. And you know, they spent the whole time trying to peel someone off.
And my little brother, he texted me at 1 a.m. and said he saw me on CNN and said my father will be proud. I'd probably vote aye.
An emotional moment when the bill was passed.
And to be a part of that was incredible. I came to make transformational change, and actually having a large part of getting that, I don't know how to put that into words.
I don't think I'll have in my lifetime a campaign that will feel like a bigger win.
Being a voice and a representation of people who haven't felt their voices being heard is amazing.
When this thing was finally completed and we had got through with it, I mean, I'm still celebrating it to this day. It's 5 years later.
Anytime there's any kind of change in the status quo of policing, particularly around how they police black and brown communities, the sky's gonna cave in every single time.
Because the misconception a lot of time was that we were going to take power away from law enforcement, that if we were to pass this legislation, that we would be making New York unsafe.
We're the safest city we've been since 1951 in the past 5 years. There is a clear difference between policing then and policing now.
5 years strong, 5 years going, 5 years still moving forward.
When you've gone from something that seems impossible to when you win it, when you have to override a veto, it feels pretty good.
When you fight for what's right and you don't give up and you work in the interest of bettering community and society, you can and you will be successful.
It was corny, but like you can fight City Hall, like literally. You can fight City Hall and you can win.